Hello. So today, Brain Stew by Greenday. Great song for learning 5 chords. If we're into rock, 90s grunge music and stuff like that, 5 chords is the place to be. I played a lot of these when I was 12, 13 and then kind of realised I need to get good at these because it's like everything that I do. 5 chords keep turning up, so we're going to start by this moving shape. So I suppose a simple exercise would be just to play the 5 chord up on the 1st fret and then move down, but it's a little bit boring, so this is a good song to get practicing on quite a few frets, just trying to keep that shape on and just moving up and down the neck. So we'll give it a go. So we're going to start off on the 5th fret of the 6th string playing an A5 chord, so the power chord some might call it. First finger onto the 5th fret of the 5th string, and when we do this, you see how my finger's kind of an angle across the fret. It starts off at the bottom of the 5th fret and then by the 1st string it's at the top, kind of pointing towards me rather than trying to keep everything straight and pointing up there, trying to get that finger to point towards me. Now it's just the pressure's just on my fingertip just to push down that 6th string, but the rest of my finger is touching but not pressing down all the other strings. So I should have that should ring, and then the rest of them should be muted, yeah? So if I get carried away, which we're gonna do, doesn't matter if I play all my strings with my pick, only the note that I want to hear is gonna ring. Now if we get a good position with our thumb on the back of the neck, kind of pinching the guitar, turn around a little bit, see where my thumb is? And having that angle, your 3rd finger, without being too much of a stretch, should be nice and positioned over the bottom of the 7th fret on the 5th string. And that, as you can see, shouldn't be a stretch. It's not a matter of having giant hands or anything like that. It's just good positioning of the elbows and the shoulders and the wrists. Yeah, no massive bends in the wrist. You might have a tiny bend there, but it shouldn't be anything strenuous. If you find yourself reaching round to get these chords on and you've just not got the right position, we just need to adjust our body so that it's in a nice position. I tend to sit with my guitar on the left leg a lot. That's play quite a bit of classical guitar and just used to playing it that way and having my left leg elevated and having this part of the guitar sat on that leg. But the same things apply if we're playing it on the right leg. Maybe stick the neck out a little bit towards away from you, just to get that angle a bit better. And some people will say, but I can't see my frets. You maybe can't see all your strings perfect, but you can definitely see the dots on the side of the guitar, and you'll have your 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and 12 to help you figure out where you're going. And once this muscle memory is in place for this 5 chord, you're away. It's something that we'll be playing all the time, and that's all that's really played in this song. So we'll give it a start then. We're just going to have a down up, and if we've got a good position on this hand, it doesn't matter too much if we hit the wrong strings, yeah? We should have the 2 notes that we want to hear, the 5th fret of the 6th string and the 7th fret of the 5th string, and then the 4th, 3rd, 2nd and 1st should be dull, yeah? Shouldn't be hearing anything from there. We don't want to hear. We want to hear, even if we do get a bit carried away with that pick. Yeah, so it's going to start off in a 4 count, and we're going to play 1 and. So if we're counting in 4s, we're splitting this bar into rhythms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so the first few are just the 1 and, yeah? We're going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, yeah? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it helps sometimes just to say this out loud when we're learning to play. And then that shape, I always think of it, put wherever your first finger is, come down a string, down 2 frets, and you've got a power chord, yeah? Or I used to think of it like that. Now it's just a muscle memory and just a note. I know A and C and G and whatever. Yeah. Now we're going to go up to G, which is the 3rd fret for the 2nd chord, and it's the same shape. So we should have 3rd fret 6th string, 5th fret 5th string. Exactly the same thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you'll have 5th fret, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Yeah. If you can count out loud, play it really slow if you need to, but try and get the down up. Down, up, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And you notice my right hand each time I play? I drop it and I land with my pick resting against the 6th string, ready to play the next note. Yeah, so everything's ready as I'm going 1 and it kills that to keep it nice and sharp. Yeah. So give that a try. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we're going to go up to the 2nd fret, exactly the same chord. 2nd fret 6th string, 4th fret 5th string, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Yeah, so you'll have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now if you notice, 2 and. As soon as I finish playing, as I'm counting to the 4 to start back at the next one, my hand's moved and it's ready. So we don't want to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then find it and be in a big panic, yeah, and missing it. You've got loads of time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, yeah, it's forever. 2 and 3 and I'm ready. 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so there's your first 3 chords. There's only 2 more and that's pretty much your whole song. We're going to go up to the 1st fret, which starts to get a bit more of a stretch up there, but it should still be alright if you've got a decent finger position. You can see my fingers aren't stretched apart, yeah, I'm not breaking my hand to make this chord. And for these last 2, this F5 on the 1st fret of the 6th string and the 3rd fret of the 5th string, it's going to be on the 1 and 2 and. So we're going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and then on 3 and, we're going to just put our first finger onto the 5th string, 2nd fret, and have that open E, that open 6th string on that 3 and, yeah. So you'll have, and that's an E5. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we start again. Yeah, so one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 3 and 4 and so on, yeah. And it goes round and round and round. It's really cool sounding song. Get a bit of distortion on. It does that the whole way through the song. The only variations happen in the right hand, really. When it comes into a bit of a breakdown part, we end up with this. And all that's happening there, if you watched the last video I did, was about strumming patterns, and it is literally just going, keeping that right arm going. It's just that when we've played the first 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're just going to take the pressure off that right hand but keep touching the strings but no pressure on any strings. We're going to have this down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up between each one, so you'll have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and exact same chord pattern. Just try and really slow this down, even if it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 back to start, yeah. Now and then at the end of the song, same chords again, but it doesn't muffle those chords. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Nice and loose, because grunge, yeah, it's just the way that they play the guitars, nice loose arms. You want that slight messy sound to this, but again, we don't want the ringing of the other strings while this happens, yeah, we want the notes that should be getting played. So really work on this first finger. I find that that's one of the hardest things most people find to conquer, is getting this first finger, one, to play the note we want, but at the same time to have no pressure but still touch all the other strings, yeah? And if you watch somebody like, if you watch Greenday or somebody play, you'll see that their hands do this, and they will definitely be hitting the other strings. It's just the way that these chords are played, so have a go at that. The song is also, it's in a different tuning, it's tuned down, it's a half step or a whole step down, but again on YouTube, and I'll put a link on the description of standard tuning backing tracks or tracks that you can play along with it. So you can just put Brain Stew standard tuning or Brain Stew E tuning, and somebody's kindly changed the tuning of that song to match, so you don't have to mess about tuning your guitar up and down all the time. I used to hate doing that, and it put me off learning a lot of songs when I was growing up, because of the awkward tuning, and I only had one electric guitar, so you'd play one song in standard tuning, then you got to learn a song and it was half a step down or a whole step down, and then you'd play it a bit and then you'd want to tune it back up, and I was like, no, that's me done with awkward tunings, I'm just going to play standard tuning. So if you've got a second guitar or something, great, tune one down and practice this song in that tuning, and we'll see you later.